Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to QnCOLB. We got a jam-packed show. We're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns. We're going to focus on what they can improve, what's actually going wrong, and why those things are going wrong. The Colorado Buffs. Do you believe? Basically, I want to know how many people in our audience can easily be scammed, because if you believe in the Colorado Buffs, hey, bruh, don't open them emails because you would target. But we'll see about that. NFL Week 3, we got a lot to react to. This was an aggressively weird week for the NFL. Upsets galore, all kind of weird stuff happened. Andy Dalton had a resurgence this week. Should the Bengals be worried after starting 0-3? Jaden Daniels, is he next up? The Texans, should they be concerned after this start to the season? And are the Vikings for real? 49ers are 1-2 right now. The Seahawks are 3-0. Andy Dalton looked like prime Andy Dalton. I can't even say that with a straight face. Prime Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton looked good.
Don't be disrespectful.
I'm not being disrespectful. He don't got no prime, though. Like, come on, man. We can't just be giving a prime to anybody. We can't just be giving a prime to anybody, man. And we got a lot to talk about with the AFC North. Aaron Rodgers also, is he back? Because he kind of looked back on Thursday night. I know that game happened before this weird-ass week happened, but got to talk about that too. And we're going to play a new game, Ain't No Way All-Stars, at the end of this. We going to pick an Ain't No Way All-Stars. Cole, you look real confused right now. I promise you, I'll get that to you once we get to that point here. But we're going to talk about the Browns here. And look, man, it's been a couple of days since they dropped that turd. So I'm at the point to where I've gotten all of my frustration out, and I want things to be constructive, because if you look at what the picture is in the AFC, there's still a chance here for the Browns to do something, but this offense has to dramatically improve. I mean, if you just look at what they were doing last year versus what they were doing this year, it's significantly worse, right? The Browns were in the top 6 in first downs last year, 3 weeks into the season with 64. This year, they're all the way down at 48. It's 28th in the NFL. That was one of the things that Deshaun Watson was doing well when he was out there last year. He's not doing well with that this year. You also look at score percentage. Browns are down to 24% score percentage. Last year, they were at 37 3 weeks into the season. 37 is a fine number. It gets you like middle of the league, 15th, 14th. 24 where the Browns sit. That's the second worst in the NFL currently. Now, we can point to a lot of different reasons this is happening. The number one thing that jumps out to me is the pressure percentage is up. Deshaun was pressured on 20% of his dropbacks last year. He's pressured on 37% of his dropbacks this year. Now, why is that happening, Cole? Right, that's a good question to ask. Why are they getting pressured that much? Did the offensive line just like wake up and decide they're not going to block anymore? Is that the thing with the Cleveland Browns? I think it's a little bit simpler than that, and in some ways a little bit more complex. I think it's a bigger problem. I don't think it's individual efforts as much, and keyword here is as much, as it is them being in 5-0 protection a lot. Now, Cole, another good question somebody might ask. Well, if the empty and 5-0 protection is causing the pressure percentage to skyrocket, why are we in it? It's a good question, right, Cole? It's a good question. Well, the reason you're in 5-0 is because, and I need people to understand this, you thought you had a superstar quarterback. And you can get away with a lot when you're running 5-0 with the superstar. Look, Joe Burrow got to the Super Bowl with the second worst pass blocking offensive line, according to Pro Football Focus, so take it with a grain of salt. But we all saw the 2021 Bengals play. We know that offensive line was booty butt cheeks. They was in empty a lot. They were in 5-0 protection a lot. But Joe Burrow can process quick enough, can get you out of some issues, and make it not that big of a deal that you're getting pressured that much. The crude truth that I need a lot of people to accept, and look, I'm going to try to avoid doing what happened with Baker Mayfield, where it became time for Baker Mayfield to go, and then the frustration made it so we would just say fucking anything about Baker Mayfield. But the truth is, he's just not good enough to be an empty. You know what this offense looks like? It looks like an offense that's trying to run a superstar quarterback offense with a not superstar quarterback. This is what the Panthers looked like when Bryce Young was out there trying to do it. Remember 2021 when we were out here trying to do this with Baker Mayfield? Mm-hmm. Looks the same, right? Hey, empty looks great if you have a quarterback out here who can take advantage of the extra responsibilities that you can run in 5-0 and take advantage of the extra athletes you can have in space. That's when 5-0 protection is great, right? Because you get rid of the ball quickly. You can dice teams up. It's actually, Cole, and this is going to be a shock to some people, 5-0 is usually a counter to getting blitzed, because one of the counters you could do to getting blitzed is keeping a bunch of people in, right? Another counter you could do to getting blitzed is the numbers game, right? Hey, they're sending 6 guys. That means they only have 5 guys back in coverage, 2 deep safeties. So we got 3 on 5 with wide receivers and running backs, running routes. So you can counter a blitz by getting the ball. We know this because Big Ben used to do this to us to death. Remember that? We blitz Big Ben. Here we go. Rashad Mendenhall, who the fuck was running the ball for the Pittsburgh Steelers, get like 8 yards on us, right? You see this with Josh Allen. They blitz Josh Allen, gets rid of the ball quickly. We just aren't there with Deshaun Watson. It's not going to get there with Deshaun Watson. And even if we want to talk about benching Deshaun Watson, it ain't like you going to throw Jameis empty either, right? So, to me, again, try to focus on being constructive because, again, the quarterback is an issue for this offense. There are other issues around it. I'm going to be honest with you. Every time I look at the issues around the offense, it points back to something going on with the quarterback position. Another thing that I've seen, Cole, you tell me what you think about this. Browns have 14 drops so far in 3 weeks. That's awful. They had 12 drops in Deshaun Watson's 5 games last year. 14 drops. Now, again, can't just take that for what it is. You got to ask questions about why these numbers exist. 14 drops. Why does that number exist? Why are they dropping the ball so much? You've only added 1 wide receiver, and the 1 wide receiver you've added, he's good. That's Jerry Jeudy. So it's not like he's created 7 more drops for this team. They had 7 drops in their first 3 weeks in 2023. They have 14 in 2024. And by the way, all of 2023 for Deshaun Watson, he had 12 drops. So we're over what they did in 5 games with Deshaun Watson in 3 games. Why is that going on? What is happening here? Is it the bad throws? I looked at the bad throw percentage. It's not the case. Deshaun Watson's bad throw percentage is down from what it was last year, 18.6 in 2023, 17.9 in 2024. But why is his bad throw percentage down? You got a good guess to this, Cole?
I don't know, Q. You tell me.
Well, I looked at his intended air yards per completion stat. Well, not per completion, my bad. Intended air yards per pass attempt. Tells you how many yards you're attempting to throw the ball every time you throw it. It's a good metric to see how far you're going to attack downfield. And I noticed that Deshaun Watson's intended air yards per pass attempt dropped from 9.5 in 2023 to 7.2. Now, the obvious math here is that, hey, if you're throwing balls for less distance, you're going to be more accurate and not throw as many bad passes because the quality of passes that you're throwing is much easier to complete. So that makes sense that his bad throw percentage went down. Another thing I looked at is if you look at his PFF charts for the first 3 weeks of the season, Deshaun Watson has thrown within 10 yards or behind the line of scrimmage 65% of the time. Now, some people might not know how unusual of a number that is. Last year, Deshaun Watson threw within 10 yards or behind the line of scrimmage 60% of the time. The year before that, Deshaun Watson threw behind the line of scrimmage or within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage 57% of the time. Joe Flacco threw the ball 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage 57% of the time. Right? Jacoby Brissett threw the ball 10 yards or behind the line of scrimmage 57% of the time. Baker Mayfield 2020 threw the ball in that same percentage range. So it's safe to say that Kevin wants to throw the ball in that range about 50% of the time. Sometimes a little bit over 55, sometimes so closer to 57, but he wants to sit around there, right? Deshaun's at 65% this year, and it's gone up every year he's started. Here's something to be concerned about. Remember DTR? Mm-hmm. Remember when DTR was out there, we were getting a lot of drops. Part of the reason you were getting a lot of drops is because you couldn't throw the ball downfield. And what you were doing was you were throwing the ball short, which meant that corners could sit on you and just crash at the ball and contest every catch. I talked to Tyvis Powell about this, right, a couple weeks ago. He said that's a number one recipe for drops, is that if you can't get downfield, they're just going to crash in on you. Well, DTR last year threw the ball between 10 yards or behind the line of scrimmage 64% of the time. Deshaun Watson's at 65% of the time right now.
So he's actually throwing the ball at or within 10 yards on the line of scrimmage more than rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson right now.
Now, to be fair on this stat, Dorian Thompson-Robinson had a game where he threw the ball within 10 yards or behind the line of scrimmage 90% of the time against Pittsburgh. So it's not that level of absurd. But over the average of the 3 games that he's played, yes, he has thrown it in that area more, and it's happening more consistently. It's 62%, 63%, 65% for Deshaun Watson when it comes to throwing the ball in that area. So I look at the drops and I think to myself, well, that's got something to do with how you're playing in the pass game, because it makes no sense. Like, Amari Cooper's added to this, right? I think he's added some extra drops that probably wouldn't have been there this year. But all these other drops, they feel like drops that are being created because of how you have to play the position. Now, to me, there is a solution. The question is, who's going to be capable of managing this solution? The Browns got to get out of empty. That doesn't mean they got to abandon shotgun, but they do got to keep a tight end in line. They got to do some tight bunch. They got to keep guys near the line of scrimmage, right? Like running back, tight end, they got to do that because they're just not capable of running empty from a quarterback perspective or from a personnel perspective on the offensive line. That's the number one thing I think they got to change. And I did a whole video where I break this down with more stats on my channel, so if you're interested in this, go check it out. So that's the number one thing that's got to change there. The question is, does Deshaun Watson play well when that's being asked him? You got to get rid of the ball quickly if you're going to do that. Is that something he can do? Because it's not asking a lot, but it is asking something different of him. Second thing they got to do is run the ball a little bit more. I mean, Deontay Foreman, every time he runs like 4 times, we look like shit on offense. I don't think he's like the Nick Chubb 5 carries or whatever people were saying back in like 2021. We're like, oh, we run him 28 times, we win. I don't think it's that severe, but I do think it shows you lose balance sometimes in these game plans. And then the last thing they got to do is they got to push this ball downfield. And the question is, if you don't trust your quarterback to go downfield, then you really got to find somebody who you do trust to throw it downfield. Because this right here, this percentage stuff where they're throwing this ball short, it's creating most of the problems on the offense, right? Because you're sitting in empty, you're throwing short, so like you're getting rid of the ball quickly anyways, but not quick enough because you're taking a ton of sacks. Because you're throwing the ball so short, everybody can stay near the line of scrimmage, and it makes it a lot easier to blitz you. Like, he's got to get this ball downfield, and it has to start happening this week. So that is my summation of where the Browns are at when it comes to the quarterback position and why these problems are existing and what the possible solutions are. Look, does Jameis fix these problems? I don't think there's a 0 chance that it happens, right? Is there a chance that Deshaun Watson figures it out? Sure, maybe, but we've been asking that question for 3 years now, and it's gotten progressively worse, right? We're talking about it going from 57% in 2022 when he came back off a 700-day delay to 60 to 65. This is progressive. Like, it's happened over time here with Deshaun. Another thing I'm concerned about is he is simply not accurate anymore from 10 to 19 yards. And that is the number one bread and butter of Deshaun Watson. Like, you look at his 2020 year, his best area of the field is 10 to 20 yards, intermediate. It's non-existent for him right now.
So I guess
gotta ask that question.
I guess my follow-up question to that would be this. Do you believe it's because of the shoulder injury and it's taken something away from his arm at all? Is that a fair question to ask at this point?
I don't think it's a shoulder injury personally, because if you look at the nature of that injury, it doesn't seem like that would be an effect of it. And I feel like at this point, if they really felt like it was a shoulder injury, like it happened with Baker once he started playing like shit, they started leaking that stuff out, letting you know, it's the shoulder, guys. The shoulder's hurt, right? Same thing happened with Deshaun last year when he was injured. I feel like there would be a lot more smoke about it being the shoulder. I don't think it's the shoulder. I think it's simple. Like, just because you don't play a lot of football don't mean you don't age. Like, I ain't played one lick of football in a very, like, I played some, like, tackle football with my friends in college. That's the last time I played anything close to resembling football. Hey, dog, I still aged, right? Like, Colb, you've aged. Like, I think we get this mindset that, oh, he hasn't played football, so he's going to age slower. You still age even if you don't play football. I think he's just aged. It might just be one of those situations where, like, look, Carson Wentz fell off around this age. I think Cam Newton fell off at a similar time. Like, you could blame it on an injury, and I know people blame it on an injury with those two, but I think it's just as simple as he got old. And some people get hit by the age thing a lot harder than others. And I just don't think he can do it the way he used to do it anymore because the numbers aren't stark. This isn't like 2022, 2023, good. He gets injured, boom, dramatic drop-off. It's not that case. It's been progressive over the last 3 years that he's not been throwing the ball downfield. And now we're at a fever pitch where he's throwing the most. Like, Kirk Cousins throws the ball on board downfield after Achilles injury than Deshaun Watson does right now. So I don't know if I can buy that it's just the show. I think a lot of us would rather feel like that's the thing because, like, that feels fixable. That feels like, oh, he could get healthy. But he's been healthy from this injury since minicamp. So I can't sit here and think that that's the case. People said that the spin was fine. And honestly, it's not the ability to get the ball downfield that's the issue. It's the accuracy. I have never seen him overthrow as much as he's overthrown this year. Even when he came back from the 2020 in 2022, he was underthrowing because he was like trying to overdo his mechanics, but he's overthrowing, which is usually more of a concern when it comes to, I know it feels like the opposite, but usually when guys' accuracy and arm talent goes, it means they overthrow a lot, or they throw high, or it's like the ball goes far, but it's not really fast. And that's kind of what it looks like with Deshaun. Like the ball doesn't look like it's traveling at the same velocity and speed that it once did. Like every time he throws it out, I clinch. Because it feels like you could just go get it. And that's the number one throw where I'm like, hey, if you're struggling to throw outs, you're about to be cooked. Because that's the throw that gets you, right? That's the throw that creates all the pick sixes. And he ain't necessarily Phillip Rivers in 2020 cooked yet, but it's not far off from it. And that's the big concern there. It's like, I don't know what happened. Maybe it is the shoulder injury. Maybe he'll be fine in a couple of years, but like we got to be honest about it. That when he throws an out, it does not feel comfortable. It felt fine in 2023 when he threw outs. It was a little bit slower than you remember it happening in Houston, but it wasn't as slow as it is now. Like, I'm concerned that the excuse for not making the throw to Jordan Akins is that they made it, that they're coming out with the line that it's an impossible throw. Impossible for who? I'm not even trying to be an asshole here. I'm just being dead serious. Like, is it impossible for you or is it an impossible throw? Because I've seen a lot of guys make that. I've seen Jameis Winston make crazier throws than that last year when he came in for Derek Carr. He threw one, I was watching it, Jameis Winston threw one clear across his body to the other side of the end zone, still had zip on it. So, like, I don't buy that that's an impossible. I've seen enough NFL football to know that's not an impossible throw. It's not a very tough throw. It's a tough read to get to, but like, what the fuck we paying for? So I get to the point here where I'm like, hey, is it the best option? I don't know. I'm not convinced that it's the best option. And I'm not convinced that these problems, Cole, are issues that simply just exist because he got injured last year. Like, that's the more concerning thing. Because you know me, if I felt like it was the injury, I would be like, you know what? We got to give it time. He's coming off an injury. I don't think it's the injury. I don't think it's that. I don't think the team thinks it's that. Like, I don't buy that it's that. He's not sitting out in practice during the week because he got to rest his shoulder. That would, like, you're not seeing any of the I think my quarterback is injured stuff. Like, usually when you think your quarterback is injured, you see the I think my quarterback's injured stuff. Baker Mayfield barely practiced in 2021 because they thought he was injured. This ain't that. He practicing. He's not wearing a sling. He's not being told to get a rest day. It's been 3 weeks in the season. Maybe you get a rest day this week. But first 2 weeks, he hasn't got a rest day. Like, there's no indication other than, like, pure hope that he's hurt. Other than that, I see no indication that they think he's injured. So, and I would love, this is where, like, sometimes me not being in Cleveland hurts. 'Cause I would love to get my press badge, stand at that press conference and ask Kevin Stefanski, hey, man, why have these percentages gone up for short throws for Deshaun Watson? Is this a change in how you want to attack cover two? Or is this an indication of what you feel like is capable with the quarterback? And this is a very tough conversation for a lot of people to have. Because a lot of people want to have hope in it. I want to have hope in Deshaun Watson. I was on this pod a month ago saying I think he could play better.
You were?
Like, I am not somebody who's going to go out their way to be negative about Deshaun Watson. If anything, I've gone out my way to be neutral about Deshaun Watson. I've gotten so much criticism about this, trying to stay neutral on Deshaun. Like, you have witnessed this, Cole. Have you not?
Hey, they be calling you a Watson warrior, a Watson defender.
All of this stuff because I have refused to just jump into the lazy narratives about Deshaun Watson. I am not the person that's going to be thirsty to tell you this is not going well and that this is done. I was going to be the last person that was going to tell you that. That's not in Deshaun Watson's camp. And I'm telling you right now, It don't look good. Look, the plane ain't crashed yet, Colb, but the emergency lights are on and the fastest seatbelt light is on and it's turbulent. I think we're being foolish here as Browns fans if we not looking at the emergency exit.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Because I want to say this. I want to be clear when I say this. This is probably, I would even say definitely, the first time where I felt like the vast majority of the fan base is on the same page with this thing. Like the Baker thing was clearly divided. About 50-50 in 2021. Like that was clearly divided. This doesn't feel like that at all. This feels like, hey man, we out on this. You know what I'm saying? Like we out on this. It don't look good. It don't look like it's gonna get any better. To be completely honest with you, like
my big concern is that I think
the schedule.
And my big concern is that this is a good game that Deshaun Watson came off of. For Deshaun Watson at this point, this is what we're willing to call a good game. And here's the thing with Baker Mayfield. The hope was that he could become a superstar quarterback. But that wasn't the real expectation for Baker Mayfield. A lot of people just wanted Baker Mayfield to be good enough at quarterback. Right? Like, yeah, he's the number 1 overall pick. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson happened in that draft. But Browns fans would have just been happy if he was like a 2-time Pro Bowler. Right? Like a pretty solid Derek Carr-esque career, which is what he's probably going to have. The expectation for Deshaun Watson, I would like to remind everybody. And look, I'm not being dishonest when I say this. I'm not putting shit on Deshaun that he didn't say himself. Hey, go listen to Deshaun Watson's podcast. You know what the intro says? Superstar quarterback Deshaun Watson. You know what the contract says? Superstar quarterback. I've heard Ken Dorsey, superstar quarterback. He's supposed to be a superstar quarterback.
He hasn't thrown for 200 yards yet in the game, by the way.
Look, it's not throwing for 200 yards is not the biggest deal in the world to me because I get it. It's a different league. Different things happen. Like, if you're efficient and you're not throwing for 200 yards, I don't care, right? Because I think it's just a bar. But the EPA per play is the lowest in the league. He's throwing the most passes, and he's under 200 yards. That is the issue here. And again, superstar quarterback Deshaun Watson. This is happening too. And we're making similar excuses that we make for Bryce Young, who certifiably is not a superstar quarterback. I feel comfortable in saying that. But yeah, these excuses sound like excuses we use for Baker, who we did not expect to be a superstar quarterback, who we did not pay to be a superstar quarterback, who we did not trade 3 first-round picks to get to be a superstar quarterback.
I just want to throw something out there. Real quick. Shout out Cody Suck from Browns Film Breakdown with Jake and all them. We love them. Shout out to them. But how do you feel about Daniel Jones, real quick? Q, how do you feel about Daniel Jones as a quarterback?
I think Daniel Jones is bad.
Okay. Just hold that thought real quick. EPA per play, since you brought it up. Daniel Jones. 0.19 against the Cleveland Browns. Want to take a wild guess what Deshaun Watson's was?
Well, it's been like -22 or something like that the last few months. Like,
just take a wild guess. What do you think it is?
I am not the most familiar with EPA per play, but I'm just going to say it's in the bottom third of the league at the very least, if not 30th or 31st.
He was a -0.39.
Damn. Was he like a -22 versus the Cowboys?
Yeah, -0.39. Daniel Jones positive 0.19.
Cole, that brings up another excellent point. I'm glad you said that. Because I think I made this point in a video earlier this week. The Cowboys have given up scores like their scoring percentage against 62. Same thing with the New York Giants. And the Browns in those games, I believe, had an 18% score percentage. We just saw what a franchise superstar quarterback did to the Jaguars defense.
They had 34 points at halftime.
We can't get 20. We can't get 20. I mean, I made all them jokes about Pittsburgh. We're worse than Pittsburgh offensively right now. Like, we're worse than Pittsburgh was last year offensively right now.
And Steelers fans, make sure you heard that, because y'all like to say we're homers and we're biased. We're not. We're being honest.
I mean, I am a homer. I am biased towards the Browns, but I'm not going to lie. Like,
we tell the truth. When the truth is there, we tell it.
This is not good. And I don't know how this happens in some people's mind, where if the quarterback's playing bad, it's everybody else. But if the quarterback's playing good, that quarterback, like we do this with Joe Flacco. Look, he brought you into the playoffs, right? Like all of a sudden, quarterback get all the credit when it's going good. Quarterback throw 3 interceptions, you know it was the play call. Like all of a sudden, the quarterback is a helpless victim to all of this, right? He can't do nothing but be a victim of what the call from Kevin Stefanski was. And here's the thing that I think drives me the most crazy about this, because the Browns are in empty. You know why you're in empty? So Deshaun Watson can audible and check the things versus blitzes that are going to beat him. He should not be a victim to the play call.
You know what? It really irritates me though about this entire thing, because people were trying to argue with me. People were trying to argue with me today because I said, "Hey, man, people are still trying to suggest that this is Kevin's fault and we need to get rid of Kevin if this thing doesn't work out."
Yeah, let's double down on Deshaun Watson and get rid of the one guy we've seen have a respectable offense in the last 4 years.
And I want to stay right to that point. I want to stay right with that point that you just said right there. Let's just read some things off to people. This is from last year, when we played 5 different quarterbacks. Okay, let's just read some of these things off really quick. So, only scored 19
What's wrong
against
with your cousin?
I don't even want to know what Rail said.
He didn't say nothing crazy. I'm just like, why he said this? He paid $20 to say that.
Bro, you did not have to pay $20 to say that, so we
bro, he's doing a troll. He's doing a troll, because I saw him do this like earlier this week. Hey, QnCOLB, just want to thank you guys for giving us casual fans a platform. What did you get in trouble for on Twitter? What did you get in trouble for? What happened? Because I've been hearing a lot about this casual fan thing. I have no idea what it means. Like,
man, this is all I said. I watched the film breakdown. Shout out Browns film breakdown. I watched the film breakdown. And I simply said, yeah, it's over. And I was like, yeah, man, it's over. That's all I said. I was like, yeah, man, it's over. And I got attacked. Not really attacked, it's Twitter.
Oh, but, yeah, the one homeboy said you don't got love for your community.
He said he don't interact with his community. And then everybody who's in our post-game spaces the last 2 weeks is like, what are you talking about? He talks to us all the time. What community do I not reach out to?
That's crazy.
And all those people I apparently interact with are casual football fans. Including, I guess that includes you too, Q.
Yeah, famously casual. Yeah, I'm super casual about this. Right, I sat through the Dallas game 3 times the same day I watched it. Super casual about this.
Just real casual. You know what I'm saying? Just real casual. That's all.
JP Acosta, known casual football guy. Right?
Pops on Mina Khan's podcast every other week. Super casual football fan.
Super casual. Yeah, he's just in charge of draft prospects for SB Nation, right? Like, yeah, okay,
you know, super casual. But to get back to my point, that I was making, this is last year. I just want to read off some scores to you, you know, real quick. So, San Francisco 49ers, PJ Walker, only scored 19 points. You know what I'm saying? Only scored 19 points. Next week against the Indianapolis Colts, again with PJ Walker. And we know Myles Garrett contributed to a lot of this, but
Myles Garrett contributed like 20 points.
He contributed a lot to this. 39 points. You know what I'm saying? 39. Seattle,
Now he was legitimately not that bad in that game. I will contest this. That PJ Walker was not the solution, but he was close to not being the problem. He was close to. He threw that last interception, but you know.
And listen, if he did not throw that interception off somebody's helmet, they probably. I felt like they were going to win that game.
Look, that game was certifiably not awful, just bad. Okay, like you could have won. Like
even then, scored 20 points. You know what I'm saying?
24, I believe.
No, they scored 24. We had 20.
Oh, damn.
We had 20.
We was in range to score too on that drive.
Yeah, man. And then let's just read these last couple games with Joe Flacco, man. 31 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who they only scored 18 against a couple weeks ago. 20 against the Chicago Bears. They got a good defense. I'm not gonna lie. They got a good defense. 36 against the Texans. 37 against the Jets, and then they didn't play. Nobody played against the Bengals. They only scored 14.
Hey man, go ahead.
I say all of this to say, man, we've seen Kevin be able to do what he's been able to do on offense with quarterbacks who do not have the reputation Deshaun Watson had before he came to Cleveland. I'm not blaming Kevin for any of this stuff. I'm not blaming Kevin for. I'm not going to say I'm not going to blame him for any of it, but I'm not going to fire him if this thing doesn't work out.
Yeah, and look, ridiculous. Also, like Deshaun Watson was able to score 20 points last year in the first 3 weeks of the season. Every game, they got over 20 points. This year, I feel like it's going to take God himself to guide that ball to get us past 20. And dog, we only playing the Raiders. They lost to the Panthers last week. That's how bad it is right now. 24% score percentage, Cole. They've never been that bad under Stefanski. This is the worst they've ever looked under Kevin Stefanski, and it's the most prepared Deshaun Watson has ever been coming into a season.
What are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? Like, why are people acting like we hate the team, but we just try to be negative?
No, man, I'm bringing this shit up because I love the fucking team, and I don't want them to look like this for the rest of the year. They don't have to. They really don't have to. They don't have to. But they got to stop doubling down on trying to make this Deshaun Watson superstar quarterback thing work. Even if you don't bench him, okay, whatever. I get it. It's embarrassing. You don't want to do it. Me personally, you know me. If I realize I'm wrong, I'm swallowing that fucking pride up and doing what's right. Like, I could care less. Okay? Like, pride is the devil, dog. I got to do what I got to do, like, to get this thing right. So I'll just be like, yo, I was wrong. We gonna have to put Jameis in, dog. Like, it just is what it is. It ain't cooking. Maybe we might get back to Deshaun if he start feeling better or whatever, but we just gonna let him go home for a couple weeks and figure out what the NFL about to do with him, right? Like, I that's where I would be at. But I get it. They might be more prideful than me. They might not want to admit they wrong. Even if you have Deshaun Watson out there, you don't got to die on this hill with him on empty. Like, I hope they learn from the mistake they made with Baker Mayfield, because they died on the hill of Baker Mayfield being a superstar quarterback, and he's not. Even when he plays well, it's not because he's a superstar. It's because he's all right, he's good, but he's not superstar. You got to have stuff around him. It's the same thing with Deshaun. It's a hell of a disappointment because you paid Deshaun $230 million and traded 3 first-round picks to avoid having to pay that level of quarterback play. But you got that, and I would argue it ain't better, right? Like,
hey man, let's just call it what it is.
It ain't better than what I think you could have gotten if you just wrangled together like Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, and Jameis Winston over the last 3 years. It don't even feel like it's better than that. Like, you could have spent $16 million to get this level of quarterback play that you've gotten. And look, I thought Deshaun showed some right steps at the end of 2023. I was very high on some of that work that he did at the end of 2023. But none of that is apparent right now. He's not picking up where he left off. Even in the game that he had was technically good. It's not like he was doing the stuff that he was doing at a high level in 2023. It's just simply because the Jaguars are playing cover one and they stink. So that's another concern, Colb. I talked about this on the pregame show. Want to see if Deshaun Watson can handle teams that are going to mix up their zone coverages like Dallas did. This does not feel like a pass. It might be an incomplete to some people, but I don't think you could go, oh, he passed with flying colors. I've seen people so delusional in my comment section. They're like, what are you talking about, Quincy? Deshaun Watson was the bright spot in that game.
What?
Yeah, man. The bright spot in that game. Like, I understand. And look, I'm trying to answer this with empathy because with Baker Mayfield, when this went wrong with him, I knew I was right about it, but I was an asshole about it. So I'm trying not to be an asshole about this. I'm trying to be empathetic. I understand that a lot of people have doubled down on Deshaun Watson. You might have gotten in arguments about Deshaun Watson that stop being about Deshaun Watson, and you want to be right for reasons that have nothing to do with what he's doing on the field. And that might affect your ability to see things straight. But understand, I've been in all those arguments too. I've had people getting mad at me for not being unfair to Deshaun Watson. I have been there. I can admit that this is not close to what you wanted in 2022. It's not close to what we wanted coming into the season. And it's okay to let this one go. Now, if he plays great down the stretch and it's like a miraculous comeback, cool. We'll all be happy. But we got to be honest about it. We can't keep lying to ourselves. We got to look at this for what it is. This is some of the most disappointing quarterback play per dollar that we've ever seen.
Did you see the list of Cleveland Browns quarterbacks and their EPA in their first 3 games since the team came back? Have you seen it? Or since they started tracking EPA, have you seen it?
I'm still going to be fair. I've seen that list, but also I think it's a bit of an unfair stat to track because of how much the league has changed between that time. So, like, it could shift it. I don't think the thesis you come to, as long as you keep it broad, is wrong. But, like, I'm not about to sit here and act like I think Deshaun Watson's worse than Brandon Weeden or Brady Quinn. Like, I'm not about to go out here.
It's just the fact. He's last. It's insane, bro. It's insane. And there's nothing you can point to even really push back against it. It's like, hey, man, he hasn't looked good.
That's the one point I think you can objectively make right now. It's not good. And it's not good because of reasons you think will change over time. Like, I think this would be different if I felt like the new offense could work for him. But I think the offense and what they're trying to do to make him comfortable is actively making every other problem you have on this roster worse. Being it empty makes your offensive line worse. It puts a magnifying glass on the issues that you have there. Like, there's a reason why the Panthers switched to Andy Dalton and looked like a much better team. It's not because Andy Dalton's that good at quarterback. We give too much credit to quarterbacks in this situation. It's because when you put Andy Dalton in there, you're not running empty. You're in a lot of 11. You're in a lot of 12. It's going to look a lot better. The offensive line is going to look a lot better because the offensive line just has a lot more help. You're playing in a more helpful way because that's not how you're convinced you have to play to make your quarterback feel comfortable. Like, it's just that simple. And that's the biggest issue for the Browns right now, right? They have to play this way. And because they have to play this way, it's making everything worse. But I think we've sufficiently gotten everything out that we want to talk about the Browns, right? Like, if we have anything else, we can save it for later, save it for the preview. But, I feel like we got our shit off pretty well there. Right?
What else can we say? The team
we
looks
get
like
some
it
super
stinks
chats
right now.
Curtis, if you could you put the super chats on screen for us here? We got Zay. Is that Zay Arwish from Twitter?
Yes, that is Zay. That is Zay from Twitter. Hi, Zay.
Shout out to the Twitter guys. How's it been on Twitter, by the way, Cole? Because I checked out like a month ago. Twitter.
It's been a hellscape. That's what Twitter's been. It's been.
You said I should have come back.
Elon's making it worse. Like Elon's making it worse in general, but the Browns being ass is making it unbearable. Unbearable. Thank God the Bengals suck too.
Why Bree do this to Red?
What Bree do? What did Bree say?
I said management told me to say come through casuals, and then she gonna post this saying that's the management. Why you doing this to me? Don't do rail like that.
Hey, you better chill.
Hey, we gonna get the boss on you, dog. That's crazy.
No, let me retweet this because that's crazy.
You gotta screen cap it so that they can have all the context and then just tweet it out. Because that's insane. Hey, Ray Rag says, I'm gonna leave Rel alone, man.
After the Bills destroyed the Jags, I'm so happy the Browns won that game. I'm mad, but if they lost that game, I'd be burning all to the ground. Ooh, man. Ooh, that's bad.
God. Oh, God.
Hey, Rail deadlift like 600 pounds. Y'all better be careful.
That's crazy. 600 pounds?
Rail strong as shit.
How heavy is he? Is he like 160?
He less than that, probably.
I think the most I ever deadlifted was in college. I was at like 150, and I got to like 450 or something like that. And I thought that was a lot. But, hey, real talk, though, like, it's easier to be, like, evenly proportioned and do weights. So, like, that might be Rail's path, man. Professional weightlifter.
I don't know if that's his path, but he good at it.
Good old Rail, man. Hey, we gonna hire Rail to be security or do a live show. You know, he gonna hold it down for us.
Yeah, he can hold it down.
Appreciate that, Rail. That's crazy. Yeah, I did that to the man. All right, let's get to the next topic. Oh, man. Y'all wrong for that. All right, let's do it right here. I want to know in chat right now. Chat, I want to see some real quick. Do you believe in the Colorado Buffs? Yes or no? Yes or no, chat? Because I'm going to ask Cole this question while we wait for chat to answer. And then we're going to bring in Curtis on this one and have Curtis, you gotta mute me on the mic because I can hear me. And have Curtis answer. Hey, show of hands. Do you believe in the Colorado Buffs? All right, Cole. Defend your take.
Listen.
Answer for this.
Hold on. I'm looking at the chat. No,
absolutely not.
No smoke and mirrors. Absolutely not. Nah,
keep your hands down.
I believe in Travis Hunter. There we go. No, all caps, exclamation point.
Damn. That felt more. That felt a little crazy. like, wait a minute.
Damn, y'all don't believe? Y'all don't believe?
Somebody say, fuck no. Okay, hold on. All right, Dan Lanning.
Hey, somebody said the no all caps exclamation point was a typo. My fault. That's how you felt.
Oh man. But yeah, I don't think America believes in your squad, Cole. And let me be clear on this. I'm gonna snitch on Cole right now, and Curtis can corroborate with me. We was talking about Colorado, and this motherfucker said we.
I'm locked in. I am locked in.
He said we gonna get it right. I'm like, we.
gonna get it together. We gonna get it together.
You gotta remember, we only won one game 2 years ago. You weren't even a fan when they won one game. What do you mean?
Why you bringing up old stuff? Why you bringing up old stuff?
You brought up old stuff, Cole.
Why you bringing up old stuff, man? Worried about my allegiances. It's okay. We gonna get it together. We gonna get it together.
What? I'm not surprised. He's a Lakers fan.
Hey, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not the same. It's clearly not the same thing.
I'm sure you got a cousin that his name was Cole or something like that. That's why you like to. I get it, you know. Your auntie was a Lakers fan. Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Grandfather, but it is what it is. But yeah, man, Colorado. Let's just say one thing. Let's objectively, one of the most entertaining football teams in college football. It's entertaining. It is. I'm sorry. Everything. It's entertaining. I love it. And they're probably gonna make a bowl. They're probably gonna make a bowl game this year.
Probably is a strong word. Possibly is a better word. Like, it's possible mathematically for Colorado to make a bowl game. It's certainly more possible than it was last year. Now, I don't know if it's because they got better. It's just because they're in a worse conference. Like, they don't have like 12 top 10 teams in the conference anymore like last year. I don't think they have one right now. But yeah, it's definitely mathematically possible. I'll give you that, Cole. It's mathematically possible that Colorado gets to play in the Pinstripe Bowl against Maryland.
Step forward.
And they're definitely losing.
Oh, yeah. They're 100% going to lose to Maryland. 100% going to lose to Maryland.
What bowl are you aiming for? The Hula Bowl? Like, what's a Colorado fan's range of expectation here? Like, I've always been interested in this. Like, you can't say that you think this team gonna make the playoff. We know that ain't happening. So where are you at? Like, you want like the Gator Bowl? Like,
the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl,
the Outback Steak Bowl. Like, which bowl you aiming? The Pop-Tart Bowl? Like, is that a bowl that you aim for? Like,
bowl.
Let me see what bowls we got.
The routerplumbing.com bowl. That's one, right? Like this.
Hold on. What do we got?
Hey, what's that one bowl they got in Detroit?
The
Little Caesars Bowl?
The Detroit Bowl?
The Little Caesars Pizza Bowl? What y'all aiming for, man?
Hey,
y'all about to beat the MAC champion?
Listen, when we win the Duke Mayos Bowl, I don't want to hear nothing from y'all.
Oh, hey, what's the bowl? No Barstool got a bowl? That'd be a perfect, the Barstool.com Wyoming Bowl? Yeah, that's the reality we need to live in.
No, we do not want that.
Put them in that bowl.
Oh, yeah, right before whatever happens with inauguration. Barstool.com bowl. Like, yeah, that's what you want. Like, what y'all go? What bowl is Colorado going for? Somebody said Toledo could take Colorado.
Hey, honestly, if Toledo play Colorado in the bowl, might put a bill on Toledo.
Does Shador even play in that bowl game? Damn, Mike C said the Idaho famous Potato Bowl.
Ooh.
They don't even change the field for that shit. You be out there playing a bowl game and say Boise State Broncos in the end zone.
Oh, shit.
Hey, y'all better not have Sam Acho on the call for your bowl game, okay?
Sam Acho?
Yeah. Well, no, which one is the other Acho brother that does play-by-play? Is it Sam or no? Emmanuel's the annoying one, right?
Yeah, Emmanuel does the play-by-plays.
No,
No.
Sam Acho does the play-by-play. Emmanuel does the
Yeah.
sports talk. Yeah. Yeah, Sam Acho about to be out there. Oh, this Colorado Bluffs defense, man. They're exciting. You have Devin Gardner on the sideline. It's going to be some real action. Like,
Oh man.
Oh man.
yeah. But, you believe in your Buffs?
We get into a bowl.
Now,
this year.
you get into a ball? Now,
We
these
get
your
to a
Buffs now, right? Like, you claiming them.
Yep, we claim it always.
How long the contract? How long the contract for the claim?
Until Shador goes to the league. Shador and Travis go to the league.
Oh, so are you just a Shador fan?
I'm a Travis Hunter fan.
You're a Travis Hunter fan. Cole out here standing individual players. Oh my goodness. See, this is why we should have picked show hosts from Twitter. Like
They wouldn't have been no better.
Goodness gracious out here. But yeah, the Colorado Buffs. Curtis, do you want to explain why we don't believe in the Colorado Buffs?
Hey man, I'm watching this team from last year. I'm thinking, I see some talent there, but the team's not really that good. Then I watch the team this year, and I'm like, it's the same team, but worse. Like when they went against Nebraska, they literally got dominated, similar to Oregon, but not as bad. I mean, sure, they barely beat North Dakota State, but North Dakota State is nowhere near the team they were as we're used to seeing them. They're not even close to that. And when I look at their offensive line, I'm like, hey, dog, it's a bunch of transfers there. And I'm like, you can't build an offensive line through that. And I think Deion's issue is that he's trying to build up his program similar to all these other programs, like using the transfer portal. That's fine. But pretty soon you're going to have to actually recruit and go out there and get these kids into your program because you need depth. Because the more you use these transfer portal, I mean, you're going to be a top-heavy team. This is a top-heavy roster. Sure, you got Shador and you got Travis, but there is a distinct drop-off if either one of those guys go down. Their entire offensive line is new. They have a new offensive line. They have a new running back room. And I've watched them close enough to realize, hey, it's the same problems that they're having this year that they had last year. The O-line cannot run block. They can't hold up in pass protection, which is allowing Shador to get too many hits. The receivers outside of Travis Hunter, they're fine, but they're so big play reliant and they can't do the simple stuff. I'm like, man, is this team just the same or they're not getting any better? Because in year 2 of a rebuilding program, you need to get better. I just think they're stuck, and I don't think they're going to get any better because I'm telling you right now, when Travis and Shador leaves, I'm expecting half of that team to go with them because one of the tackles that they have in their offensive line, a freshman, Jordan Seaton, he's a freshman. He's probably their best offensive lineman that's on the team. And I don't even think he's going to be there next year because once they go, I think everybody's going to go. That's just me, though.
Thank you for breaking that down so technically and elegantly. Look, man, they barely beat North Dakota State, and I need y'all to understand what happened to the FCS over the last few years. You think the transfer portal was rough, the group of 5 schools? Like, where do you think group of 5 schools went when they started getting rated? They took all the talent from the FCS, and North Dakota State got hit harder. This is not Cliff Kleiman's North Dakota State, and they barely beat them. Why? Because North Dakota State can kind of run block. That's a problem. That's a problem. Look, I'm glad they beat Baylor, but let's also remember Baylor won 3 games and the only 2 games, and they won their blowout game that they had last year, and the other 2 games they beat were against the 2 AAC schools that were getting re-relegated to the Big 12 in their first year. That's who they beat. They basically went winless in the Big 12 last year. Kind of like how Colorado went winless in the Pac-12 last year. You beat that team. Barely. In a game that people argue you shouldn't have even won. Like, if you can't clearly beat a better team versus what is Baylor's washed era. I was supposed to think you going to beat Utah, Arizona, and Oklahoma State.
Hold on. Where did you hear me say that they was gonna beat those teams? Did you hear
I
me
mean,
say
you
that?
got to beat one of them to get bowl eligible, Cole.
Listen.
Who you
we'll
beating?
cross
Who
that
you
bridge.
beating? We'll pull up the schedule right now. No. I'm not about to let you get away with that one.
Pull it up.
Colorado football schedule right here. We're
talk
going
about
to pull this stuff right up. We're going to talk about this real quick, and then
talk about it.
we're going to get on with it. All right? Colorado schedule currently. Let's see. They play Central Florida next week. Central Florida 3-0.
I don't feel good about that one.
Okay. Kansas State.
Don't feel good about that one either.
Arizona. Come on.
Fuck it. We gonna steal it.
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not stealing that one.
Gotta get
Cincinnati.
upset somewhere. I feel like Cincinnati's not that good this year.
No, Cincinnati's decent this year. I think they beat us. Yeah, Cincinnati's not bad. Let me see. I know they lost to Pitt, like they blew a lead to Pitt, but I mean, to be fair to Colorado, to be fair to Cincinnati, that's more than what Colorado be accomplishing sometimes. Like Colorado don't even be blowing leads. Like, let's see. They beat Maryland.
Okay.
Oh no. That's Miami of Ohio. They haven't beat nobody. They beat Houston, 34-0 though. But they almost did beat Pitt. Pitt's a good team. You're not taking that one. You're not taking that one.
We're gonna take that one. We'll take that one.
Texas Tech.
I feel like they can win that.
Not
That's
quite.
kind of crazy. They beat Arizona State.
Did they?
Yeah. They beat North Texas.
Okay.
Washington State did get them though, and they did have a overtime game with Abilene Christian.
Oh, okay.
But y'all had an overtime game with North Dakota State, so like I'll give you that. It's a toss up right there, and then Utah. We're not even gonna entertain.
No, we're not even gonna entertain that.
Oh.
We're not even gonna talk about that.
Utah coming to Boulder. Like if this was in Utah, I would be worried. But at Boulder, it's still not happening. And it's on. This is wild. Native and Indigenous Peoples Heritage Day is being celebrated when they play Utah.
Okay.
Questionable choice. Kansas. You go to Kansas. Y'all can beat the Rock Chalk. Y'all beat the Rock Chalk.
Nope.
Gotta beat somebody.
Oklahoma State.
No.
Y'all not beating Oklahoma State on ABC in front of the world.
Hey, the fact that they got that on ABC is crazy.
Hey, I love that Colorado is so hopeful that they put the Big 12 championship game on there. Like they gonna be playing in that shit. Like they got that on their schedule. Like yeah, we might be there. Buy the tickets. My guy, you might as well put the Mighty Key Car Care Bowl date on that fucking ride schedule. Like, we might make it, y'all. Like,
A bowl is a bowl.
a goodie bag is a goodie bag, right? Like, TaxSlayer.com bowl. That'd be a huge win for Colorado right there. They get the Tax Slayer bowl. That's a almost New Year's Day bowl right there.
I'm not even gonna lie. The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl might be the move.
Hey,
Might be
you
the
want to
move.
know if you were the last team to make a bowl game? You know what bowl you play in? The Bahama Bowl. You be like, how the fuck they get in? They won 4 games. Like,
Hey Q, real quick. Tom said they probably beat Youngstown State.
bro, Youngstown State is terrible this year, dog. Youngstown State got beat 72-14 against Pitt, and they lost to Duquesne last week. Duquesne. You know how much of a football junkie you got to know that Duquesne is one, a school that exists, and 2, has a football program? We lost to a non-scholarship school this year, dog. We not beating nobody. Like,
I'm sorry that happened to you, Q. I'm
hey,
sorry
bro.
that happened to you.
Hey, it's real hard to watch them games anyway. I'm checking out. Like, This is not a year to be proud of the alma mater. Like, hey, you know what? I blame the transfer portal because I saw one of our best receivers catch a pass from Michigan. I was like, what the fuck did that happen? They got C.J. Charleston over there? Wait. He not playing for us no more? Who playing for us right now? What happened to all our players? They're playing on Power 5 schools. I can't stand the transfer portal and what it's done to small schools. So, yeah, make the jokes you want, but the Power 5 did this to everybody with greed, okay? The inequality gap between schools has risen. Trickle-down footonomics, okay? Like,
all right. What's the next topic?
Supply-side football is what I call it, damn it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you destroyed the Midwest. All right. Let me not get in trouble. Next one. Let's react to week 3, man. Let's get back on topic here. Actually, let's get to some super chats real quick to bring us on topic. Curtis, can you bring them up?
Yeah, I think I can. Hold on. Wait, unless you can do it.
I can do it real quick.
Yeah.
All right, and Curtis, I'm gonna take it off for a little bit here. That's fine.
All right.
All right. I think he was in the middle saying something. My bad, dog.
Say something, man. It always happens.
Hey, dog, it's not personal. After the Bills destroyed the Jags, I think that's the last one we got to. So let's pull up Soul Train, who says, does a bad O-line shine a light on no speedy wide receivers? I mean, are the wide receivers not fast, or are we just not throwing it downfield?
I know they were towards the bottom of the league in a lot of the separation metrics that I saw for the Browns. They were like 26th or 28th or something, like somewhere between 26 and 28 and separation.
I would love to see what the yards ran per route are. Because you're not going to get that much separation if you're, running sticks,
dinking and dunking,
curl flat, out. Just not going to get a ton of separation that way. So I would love to see if there's more context behind those numbers. But yeah, I didn't watch any of the film breakdowns, but the O-line seemed better when they were in their emergency lineup. Did they play better, or did they just change the protection schemes? Yeah, they had a tight end. That's what happened. They just stopped going empty because they were like, oh shit, we can't do empty no more. Again, I don't think the O-line's issues are as much about individual effort as it is the situation that they're being put in.
I will say this.
Now, DeJuan Jones, on the other hand.
That's exactly where I was about to go. DeJuan
was individual effort.
God-awful, brother. God-awful.
My man tried to play right tackle from a chair.
Yeah, he was not moving at all. Not even a little bit.
Just hopped in, didn't like the fact that Foreman wasn't involved against the Jags. This clearly, he was involved against the Jags. The offense clearly can't function when they aren't manageable down in distance. Run the ball. Man, if only we had a quarterback who can let me not do it. Let me not do the thing. I'm going to try to be better than that. Just saying, yeah. It does suck that we can only move the ball when we're in manageable downs and distances. That is unfortunate. Okay, but real question. What will the record be next year when Travis and Shador are gone? Let me tell you something. Colb ain't going to care. Colb ain't going to care. Colb going to be on to the next. He going to be a Cooper Manning fan or some shit like that.
Let me tell you something. Dion might not care either.
Dion might not be coaching. I feel like we don't pay attention to the fact that all of his coaching moves seem to be with his son as the player he's coaching. High school, college again. Just something to keep in mind.
He might not be there.
And also, let me make one thing clear. Look, at Colorado, where they desperate, and you could get away with doing all the stuff that Dion does. Let me tell you who's not going to have the tolerance for that. the donor class of Florida State. Like, let me tell you, they're not like we need Dion. They like Dion could use us.
I'm not even sure if that's true right now. Ooh, it might be a mutually beneficial agreement at this point.
That's not how them boosters work, Cole. You thinking that they tapped into reality right now. That's not how boosters, you don't spend all, no, you think we Florida State. It's people in Nebraska still think they national champions. Like, these people ain't connected to reality. Like, they're not like, yeah, man, we're bad right now. We need somebody to help us. They're like, no, we're Florida State. You play for our terms. Like,
we'll see where that gets you.
Hey, they've gotten out of it before. All right, let's talk about Monday Night Football, man. I feel like that's what everybody wants to talk about real quick. How concerned are you about the Cincinnati Bengals?
They might be cooked, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, and I'm not even trying to be I'm not even trying to be hyperbolic, and I'm not even trying to be Browns fan shitting on the Bengals here. Mm-hmm. That defense is god awful.
Yes.
Like, I want to put this in perspective. I'm pretty positive the Washington Commanders have the worst defense in the NFL. Bottom two.
I'm about to say. The Jaguars sure was not going to let that title get uncontested. Like,
they got some, at least, like, the Jacksonville Jaguars have some good players, especially on their defensive line.
Well, the same thing is true for the Commanders.
Who they got?
Deron Payne.
I was like, Deron Payne's still over there?
Jonathan Allen?
No, he's not. He's pretty good.
I don't think his name is Jonathan. I think I just messed up his name. No, it's John Allen. Yeah, it's John Allen.
I think it's Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen. They got help. They got no edges. But, like, you know, they got a couple guys. I think their linebackers aren't terrible.
Their corners are their second.
And look, and it's possible to be talented and stink because, like, what we saw from the Jacksonville Jaguars was not a result of talent not being there. They stink. Yeah. Like, I felt so bad for JP watching that because the one thing he's held on to is that this defense has played good.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. It might be over.
It might be over. I mean, it's not even in the conversation of if it's over or not for Jacksonville.
like everything over there might be over. Like, I'm thinking about what Trevor is gonna play next because it's not gonna work there.
Hey, man, and let me tell you something. No, Andrew. No.
I'm mad you said that. I'm mad you said that because I know Cav's over there looking like
no. No. No.
I can fix them.
No.
We're not going. That's the conversation for another day. That's a conversation.
No. What we're not about to do is come out of this Deshaun Watson and try to flip it like we did with Baker. It'd be like, we gonna get Trevor Lawrence and get him right. No, we're not about to Carson Wentz ourselves. Okay? Because this is what the Commanders did with Carson Wentz. They took him after it was obvious that Carson Wentz had fallen off a little bit. I'm just saying this, man. No. Stay away. Don't you do it. Don't you try to trade for Jalen Hurts. Don't you try to trade for Tua Tagovailoa. Take your time. Okay? I don't even want to be aware of the dude who plays quarterback after Deshaun Watson's name, like the next franchise quarterback for this. No, take your time. Do not try to jumpstart this shit by going after Trevor Lawrence. Stop it. That man's broken. Okay? It's broken.
He's broken. Maybe they can fix him. But anyway,
go
back to my
because
point.
people keep saying, oh, it's Carson Palmer. No, Cole, I'm staying on this point. People keep saying it's Carson Palmer. Carson Palmer was good in Cincinnati. Trevor Lawrence has had like 10 good weeks. The only way I'm going after Trevor Lawrence if it's on some Baker Mayfield, hey, dog, let's see if he could compete still shit. Like the Buccaneers got with him. What I'm not about to do is trade for him on that contract. Absolutely not. This is not Jared Goff. Stay the fuck away from that. Okay? Like, no. No. Absolutely not.
We'll put a pin in it. We'll come back to it. But anyway,
we never coming back to this.
my point.
The answer is no. Okay.
We'll give it a couple. We'll give it a
No,
couple.
no. It's no. It's no now, no tomorrow, no forever. It's no.
You just feel like that right now, bro. It's okay.
I don't feel like that. I feel like that now, tomorrow, and next week. No. No, I don't even want y'all get that. No. Okay? No.
Hey, chat, tell us what you think about that.
No.
Just in general. Just in general. Just in general.
Okay. All caps, no. Okay?
Just see what the people have to say. Anyway,
Okay.
to get back to my point about the Commanders, their defense, god-awful.
Yeah.
Just god-awful. And the Bengals' defense somehow was worse.
93% passing.
Rookie. With Cliff Kingsbury as his offensive coordinator.
I'm going to make a point about that, too. And, like, I'm going to be real with you. He missed so many opportunities in that game. like Jaden Daniels had that good of a game, and he really wasn't even. I saw somebody like, well, he was perfect in that game. What are you going to do about it? No, he wasn't. He was able to be wrong and still be right because the defense was that bad.
They're bad, man.
Like, he was wrong so many times, but the Bengals defense was like, nah, you right about this. Also, my point with Jaden Daniels, look, sometimes being wrong about a Cliff Kingsbury offense is the only way you could be right about playing in a Cliff Kingsbury offense. So maybe he's on to something there. But also, hey, shout out to you. You had this good of a game with Cliff Kingsbury as your head coach. So, like, God knows what he would have done with a good coach. Like,
offensive coordinator, Dan Quinn's his head coach.
Yeah, but Dan Quinn ain't in no meetings.
I
Okay,
get what you're saying.
it's Cliff Kingsbury. You don't hire Cliff Kingsbury to not be in charge of that. Like, it's Cliff. Cliff deserves some of the credit, and I think Jada Daniels deserves even more credit for overcoming Cliff Kingsbury to have such a performance. Yeah, man. I don't know if I'm there yet with the Bengals because they did start 1-4 last year, or 1-3 last year, right? And they ended up being. Well, they missed the playoffs, but that's because Joe Burrow got hurt, right? So I don't know where to be on the panic level with them. But the thing that is concerning, I think Curtis brings this up a lot. I bring it up a lot. The problem with Cincinnati is that their defense is simply not as good as they were when they made those playoff runs. And if that defense isn't there, you're going to start realizing that the offense doesn't finish drives as much as you would expect them to. And if the offense doesn't score as high as the percentage of their drives as you would expect them to. I think that's the biggest problem for Cincinnati. By the way, we got results in on our little impromptu poll. Chris Russell says we could fix them. Sean Gold says we not going from Watson to Lawrence. We're not Dabo. It's Arch Manning, baby. We can fix him. No, I'll pass. Oh, hell no.
We can fix him. I know it is. I know in some part of Andrew Berry's brain, he's like, see, you get it. You get it. We can fix him. I know we can fix him.
No. 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 Just you got to just take the phone away from Andrew. Just like, no, Andrew. No. I'm going to have to Sachi Brown you on this one, big dog. Like, I cannot send that fax in. Like,
listen,
no.
There is
The Michael
no
Jackson
former
meme? No. No. Okay. No.
Just put it down.
Just put that shit down. No. We have been through enough. No. Just let Kevin Cook with some mid for a couple years, draft a young fella, develop him, and we'll live with that. Like, but do not try to jump charge this thing by trying to take a big swing. Don't you sign Kirk Cousins. Don't you trade for Kirk Cousins. Don't you try to go get Geno Smith from the Seahawks after like 2 years from now where he might be 34 or however old he is. No, Kevin. But yeah, I don't know where to be at with the Bengals. I can't imagine you're anything but concerned if you're Cincinnati, because 0-3 is one thing. Dog, but that was embarrassing. like that was kind of embarrassing what happened to you on Monday Night Football. Like, kind of shakes your confidence. And you had T. Higgins and like both your wide receivers are available.
Hey, look, man. Look who they've lost to. There's no shame in losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to shame any team for losing to them.
Well, yes, the Kansas City Chiefs are 3-0. But if you have watched how the Kansas City Chiefs are going 3-0, it's not impressive. Like, I cannot sit here and be like, I'm impressed with Kansas. No. They have gone 3-0 because teams keep getting nervous at the end of these games because, that's Pat. Like, Pat is the only reason they get into 3-0 right now. But
it happens. Yes. But it happens. But you lost to the Patriots, so you could say, okay.
Losing to the Patriots and the Commanders is concerning, given what we've seen them look like against other teams.
You're a little worried.
And look, I don't even know if the Commanders deserve that. They 2-1, ain't they? I mean, they beat Cincinnati and they beat the Giants, and apparently the Giants got an all-world defense.
Zay asked the question.
100% score percentage the Commanders had last week versus the Giants. 100%.
I'm just saying this. Zay asked the question on Twitter. You not on Twitter, so you ain't see it. He just said, "Are we sure the Browns can beat the Commanders?"
We're not sure the Browns can beat. Like, the Browns could beat anybody. They could lose to anybody. I'm not confident in anything right now with this team.
I was like, hey, man.
Like, this isn't like last year where the defense was playing so out of their mind where you felt like it didn't matter how shit your offense was, and your offense was better. Your offense was significantly better last year at this point than we are right now. Like, yeah, man, I have no confidence in this team being able to win against anybody until they at least play some respectable offensive football. Colb, I'm going to be honest with you. As much as the defense has been frustrating because we have the sky-high expectations, we could have won all 3 of those games if the Browns just played regular offense.
Middle-of-the-road average offense.
Yeah, we would have beat all 3 of those teams. But, no. I mean, let alone good, but, yeah. Anyways, that's enough about the Browns. 49ers, 1-2. What do you make of this?
Hurt beyond belief.
It's
having an impact. The whole team's hurt.
Do we say something about this being the second time that Brock Purdy has apparently gone through a losing streak, and it also coincides with Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuels not being 100% healthy?
Yeah. Fairness to him. It is hard to win without your best players, but also, if you were a franchise quarterback, is the expectation not that you could overcome some of this stuff?
Now, he did have like a tremendous stat line in that game.
He had a good game, and he had some terrible. They had some terrible drops.
I think the worry is like what happened in the second half of that game. Why couldn't they just finish it out? Like, because they jumped up to a big lead there. Curtis, man, bring yourself on stage real quick, dog. Bring Curtis here. Yeah, Curtis, come on up. We're gonna talk about the Seahawks. Are they for real? Curtis?
I mean, the defense is a lot better than what it was last year, but I'm like nervous because they have to play against Detroit on Monday night. And knowing how Seattle is, they could look great next week, and then the following week they look completely awful. But I'm just bringing this up now. The Seahawks have the same issues on their offensive line that the Browns have. The difference is it's masked by the quarterback play because Geno has been pretty damn good this year, despite the offensive line not holding up in pass protection. So, which asks the question: are we sure it's the offensive line or it's the quarterback when it comes to discussing, Deshaun Watson's performance? That's all I want to talk about. But as far as Seattle goes, I mean, they're 3-0 right now.
Hold on, Curtis, because you brought something up that I would like to get to and then move on from. Because I've talked about this, and some people are like, yeah, we can't run empty. Only like 3 quarterbacks in the league can run it. No, it's more than 3. It's more than 3. Like, it's more than 3, and that's all I'll say, and it will move on from that. It's definitely reasonable to expect Deshaun to be able to do that. He has not been able to do that. Make a great point about Geno being able to do that. And
how old is Geno, by the way? How old is Geno?
Geno's what, 32?
32, 33? Something like that?
He's got to be, what, 10 years? 2020. He was 2013 draft, 2nd round, 1st pick. So he is 33 or 34.
And he can still do it?
He hasn't played that much football, Cole. You know, he got to rest that body for most of his career because he wait, who punched him in the face?
I can't pronounce his name. One of his teammates did. I can't remember.
EO or IO or somebody like that. Smacked that man in the face, broke his jaw. Shout out to Geno Smith and came a long way. You wonder who else you think you could make that kind of a jump. You know, maybe like a Jameis. We'll move on.
They will clip the hell out of this.
What they gonna clip? What they gonna clip?
You know. That section.
Oh, they got mad at me already because I was like, hey, man, we got to consider plan B. And I made the video about, hey, what you could do with Jameis Winston if he does have to go in here. Can you get a Geno Smith result? And somebody was like, look, you gave up on him. I'm like, he has a suspension investigation going on right now. Like, have we forgotten that? Look, man, we don't need to spend this whole show talking about Deshaun.
Oh, Lord.
Let's talk about Carolina.
You mean let's talk about Bryce?
Hey, man, I feel bad for Bryce.
I do too, bro.
Because every time he don't play, every time he don't play, it becomes apparent that he's part of the problem.
They was cooking the Raiders.
Like at least when this kind of stuff happened to Watson last year before Flacco, it was like, oh yeah, PJ Walker is throwing for 164 yards, right? Like it wasn't this. They put anybody in there. They put Andy Dalton in there. It's like, nah, 320.
It's rough. It's rough.
I wonder how it feels to be Bryce Young. Because you can't see that shit happen twice and just think it's bad luck, right? Like, I would feel like the problem is me if I were in that situation. Like, what did you, like, how would you handle it? And then this time he's not even injured, dog. He's there watching this on the sideline when in pads.
Listen, man, that's all I'm going to say. You got your money, man. You know what I'm saying? You got your money.
Man,
that's a good thing.
A rookie deal. Like we not even thinking he about to get that backup money. Like,
got your money, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You
by the way,
the franchise. It's all good.
Kevin, no.
Oh, we didn't even. They're not even gonna consider that.
No. Jimmy, no.
They're not even gonna consider it.
No, Jimmy might. Jimmy from the SEC. He might be like, that boy can play. No. You know what? If your name's not Jacoby Brissett, no more quarterbacks from the Carolina that's played college in the Carolinas. No more. No more quarterbacks that are associated with football in the Carolinas. None of them. That means Drake May too.
Oh, come on. Don't do that.
Nah.
Don't do that.
Nope.
Don't do that.
Nope. Stay away from it. Hey, homeboy got in on Thursday Night Football.
He ain't starting though. He ain't starting.
It did not go well. Yeah. It did not go well for the homeboy. Then speaking of Thursday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers. Is he back? I saw that. I saw the speed radar. He's running as fast as he's ran since 2018. Hey, do he got something? Do more quarterbacks need to use drugs? Do we need to send Deshaun Watson to the darkness retreat?
I don't think we should send Deshaun Watson on any retreats. I don't think that's what he needs.
Is he allowed on the darkness retreat?
I don't think that's what he needs at this point. But Aaron Rodgers looks really good. Looks very good.
Looks really good. I'm going to be honest. Jets might win the East. And I know it sounds crazy with how Buffalo's playing, but I will preference this by saying this. Buffalo always looked this good. And then they don't. Like, them doing that to Jacksonville on Monday night, that is, they're going to peak there, and then they're going to, like, drop a game they're not supposed to soon. Because, like, Buffalo always does this where they're like, oh, they come out hot. You're like, oh, my God, Josh Allen's going to win the MVP. They are literally the Philadelphia 76ers of football. And then all of a sudden, it's like 2 months later, you're looking at the MVP, and you're like, why isn't it Josh Allen? I thought it would be Josh Allen. You're like, nah, he threw like 8 interceptions over like the last 5 weeks.
The last 5 weeks?
Yeah, like something crazy like that. He always does something to get himself out of it. So, like, I have been around long enough to not buy into the Buffalo Bills stuff. I think the Jets could win the division.
I mean, I picked them to win the division. We were picking our division winners. It was all depending on what Aaron Rodgers looked like, and so far through 3 games, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good.
Talking about feeling pretty good, Cole, we saw somebody feel great, feel spectacular on Monday Night Football, and it led to a couple of things I just found very interesting during the game here. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get this right. See, look at that, messed it all up. Hold on. Let's just go here.
Okay.
And then here. Bam.
Okay.
Okay. And then add to, that was a fun clip, right, Cole?
That was a very fun clip.
That was a very fun clip. I need to dissect what is going on because there's a lot of interesting dynamics going on in this video. First of all, watch the tight end who is just happy for his homeboy, realizing his homeboy is hyped, but not understanding what his homeboy is doing at all. So he kind of just stands there awkwardly and tries to do the dance in the background.
Was the extra
Look at 82.
And what a night for the Commanders. Was the extra offensive
look at this. Look, you can tell who knew what was going on. By the way, I believe this gentleman went to Savannah State. He was an HBCU grad. So absolutely, that is what's going on. He is a Q. I don't know that. It's not in his bio, but you're not doing this if you're not a Q. Okay? Like, now, 74 knows the drill, right? Colb, have you ever been at one of these parties where the Qs get to stepping?
Get out the way.
You stand a distance, and then if your friend is a Q, you celebrate from there. What you do not do is break the plane, right? Shout out to 82. Understood the rules. Wonder what school he went to. But 76, what are you doing? What are you doing, 76? You got to get out of there, dog. All in there. Now you just bumping heads. Right time in 74. I mess
and
with you.
what a night for the Commanders.
And look, 87 is just like, yeah. At the end of this. Hey, look, he just waited. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, touchdown. Fat guy
and
touchdown.
What a night for the Commanders.
Look how long he waits to go. I don't know what 60 doing.
No,
hey.
no. Do we have Joe and
Oh my God. So we don't have audio of that, but we'll describe to you what happened after this. So after this, they were discussing the celebration. I think the point Joe Buck was trying to make, or Troy Aikman, I could not discern which voice said this, was, you know, he scored 1 touchdown in 7 years. He's been thinking about that dance for a long time. And he was implying that that the man who scored that touchdown invented that dance. He was like, I know he worked all week in practice on that dance and figuring out what he was going to do on that dance.
He definitely worked for it. For
I'm like, he knew what he was going to do. Like, yeah, that part was true. Now, did he have to work on it? I doubt it. Like, did he have to practice it? No. I bet he scored that touchdown and he was like, I got to do what I got to do. Like,
listen, he's probably worked on that. He's probably practiced it, but that was a long time ago.
Hey, hold on now. He might be an active member, right? So he's still an athlete. He probably still do it, right? That was a pretty clean step. I imagine that he does it often. But Joe Buck and Troy Aikman had no idea what was going on their screen. They were just like, well, what a thrifty dance there. By the offensive tackle.
Ooh,
Everybody else in DC knew what was going on.
Oh man.
Oh, is that? Hey man, was Jaylen Brown working on the broadcast? Like, somebody said in the chat, 2 Americas.
I was literally about to say that too.
Look, you can just see the 2 Americans in it. You can just see the 2 Americans when they get turned up here. Look at this. Look at this.
Extra offensive lineman.
Look, who's jumping on time and who's not, right? Because look, 82 sneaking up on us, Cole. He know the jumps. Look at this shit. He knows the jumps. He timed the jump. He up there, yeah, like he knows it.
Did you hear the barking? Did you hear
Yes.
somebody back there? Somebody back there knew what was going on.
Oh, that's the second part of this whole thing, right?
Extra offensive lineman.
So he barked, right? But that's not the barking you hear after this. Now,
And
I think 74 was the other barker. And I think 74 might also have it in common with 72 that they are both in that fraternity. Because,
what a night.
again, a helmet smack like this. Now, if we saw this clip and it was 60, hey, no. No.
He got to chill.
You gotta stop. Okay.
gotta relax,
You
big
gonna
dog.
get me discommunicated. They like just the best fat guy touchdown. And honestly, once this happened, it was over with for Cincinnati. I know they came back and made it close at the end. But fat guy touchdowns, you just don't lose when you get a fat guy touchdown.
Tackle was the extra offensive lineman.
Especially the cleanest fat guy touchdown I've ever seen. Like, this is the clean. Look at the
Tackle was
celebration.
the extra offensive
Yeah.
lineman.
And he didn't even do too much with the bark. You know, he was real nice. Yeah, man, let's go.
Hey,
We're the fucking hogs, man.
hey, somebody was like, "Hey, man, can I do that dance?" And I'm like, somebody asked.
Bruh, I
Hey,
was.
man, the whole line should do that next time, bro.
Don't call it the line. Don't call it the line.
You know, somebody asked the question. Oh man.
Somebody saw you guys served, got the wrong idea.
Hey man, I can do that too. I feel like I can do that too.
Let's do a step show. No. Okay.
I don't think that's a good idea, bro. I don't think we should.
Hey, bro, I'm not about to have Kendrick rapping about me. Okay, like absolutely not about to have it happen. Oh man, that's why I knew it was over. Though I was like, oh, it was that kind of fat guy touchdown that they scored.
Oh, chat, y'all didn't know because Q was texting us during the game, like, yeah, Washington doing all right, but Cincinnati will come back and win this game. And then that touchdown happened. He was like, never mind, it's over.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. That's a vibe changer. I said, that's my exact words. Oh, no, that's a vibe changer. Like, once the fat guy touchdown happens, that's it. Like, oh, the vibes are in a different direction. The ball will bounce your way. And what happens with the Commanders the rest of that game? Oh, everything went their way. Okay? Jaden Daniels had no idea Terry McLaurin was there. He just threw that shit up on some Joe Flacco shit. Just get it. And Terry McLaurin got it.
No, I could have swore I heard Troy say, hey, they got 10 men on the field right now.
They had 10 on the field. They couldn't get the play in. They just ran something because they had to run something. They used their last time out.
He was like, touchdown.
That's why Terry McLaurin just ran straight. Like, and it worked. And that, my friends, is why the Cincinnati Bengals should be concerned. They got beat on a game-winning play by 10 people and a rookie quarterback. I thought face disabler was accident if Russell Wilson could do that in the end zone. I'm like, no, absolutely not. But yeah, just for those of y'all in the audience, yeah, man, no. If you don't know what it is, don't ever do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Dog, I saw that be a controversy over the Fresh Prince with the Fresh Prince reboot because apparently Uncle Phil was doing an alpha dance in there, and I guess that was a controversy. Like, hey, nah. I think Bo Body Jones has a great line about it. I have met gangbangers and I have met fraternity brothers. I tell you right now, I prefer the gangbangers. Like, because they're less serious about it. Like, yeah, he real serious about that, man. Come on to you. Step up to you. That's wild to me. All right, man. Let's finish the show out strong. Ain't no way all-stars of the week. Now, what is an ain't no way all-star? Kobe, you have a guess on what an ain't no way all-star is? And Curtis, I want to bring you in on this too. Curtis, do you have a guess on what an ain't no way all-star is?
Man, I'm gonna assume ain't no way. I mean, one would assume that he's not supposed to be an all-star in any way, shape, or form, but he did it anyway. Am I on track? Am I on the right track?
That's what I was about to say.
All right, Curtis, appreciate you. Now, what an ain't no way all-star is somebody who had a performance you could not believe for whatever reason. For example, the first nominee for the ain't no way all-star of the week. Ain't no way Daniel Jones went 18 to 24 and 2 touchdowns in the first half versus the Browns. That's nominee number 1. Nominee number 2. Ain't no way Sam Darnold threw 4 touchdowns against the San Francisco 49ers. And nominee number 3. Ain't no way Jaden Daniels' completion percentage was what?
Wasn't it like 90%, something like that?
It was 94 or 93.
Woo.
And it wasn't like on like 10 attempts. It was like on 30. Let me double check that just to be sure. But I am pretty sure he ran the ball. He had a lot of dropbacks for sure. But yeah, it was pretty impressive stuff there by Jaden Daniels. Yeah, 23 attempts.
90%.
254 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Whew.
Who are we putting in our votes for the Ain't No Way All-Star of the Week? Colb, you get the first vote.
Jay Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. All right,
Absolutely.
Curtis, you good to come on?
Yeah, I'm good.
Who you got?
Ain't no way. Ain't no way he did that on Monday night in front of America. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, shout out to Andy Dalton. I know somebody mentioned him and having a good offense with the Carolina Panthers, but we just had too many. Like, we had too many this week. My vote goes for Jaden Daniels, our first Ain't No Way All-Star. And really, it's an award for the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Like, ain't no way, dog. Ain't no way y'all did that. Ain't no way. So the Cincinnati Bengals defense, our first Ain't No Way All-Star of the week. By the way, beat out a week where Daniel Jones looked good against an elite defense, apparently. That's crazy. Thank God for the Bengals. Like,
I gotta ask a question.
what's up?
Do we need to stop calling the Browns defense elite? At least take a break for a little bit.
I said supposed to be elite. They're still a good defense, though.
They're still good. They're not.
They're still good, but elite.
But they're not all world like they were last year. Like, I guess you could like define them as elite. It depends on like how tight you are with it. Like, are you saying top 10 is elite or top 5 is elite?
Top 5 is elite.
Yeah, we're not top 5 right now, but we're like 8th.
That's
Like,
fair.
yeah.
It could change. It could change.
And they'll play better football later. Like, Miles is going to get healthier and then have his run. Za'Darius is going to play better football. Who knows? Juan Thornhill might come back. That might make a difference. But right now, yeah. All right, shout out to Jaden Daniels. Ain't no way all-star. Let's see right here. Do we got any more super chats? Audio from Uncle Phil's Alpha. The Alpha thing was a TikTok being used by people who have no clue about. Oh, man. Ooh. Hey, I ain't seen nothing messier. Do y'all remember Titus O'Neil, the wrestler? Mm-hmm. And he used to get out there and do the bark. And see, in pro wrestling, you do a taunt. You expect everybody else to do the taunt. His taunt was the one thing you cannot be out here doing as a taunt. He got in trouble. Titus got in trouble. Hey, man. Titus O'Neil has the most unfortunate wrestling career I've ever seen in my life because he also got in trouble by Vince McMahon. And since Vince McMahon is a terrible person, his way of punishing him was making Titus O'Neil announce the return of Hulk Hogan after we knew about Hulk Hogan, mind you. Yeah. Them tapes came out. And he made Titus O'Neil do that. Vince McMahon, horrible human. Top 10 bad people.
Worst human being.
Just horrible for everything that he's done. But yeah, Titus O'Neil had a rough one. And yes, that is the danger of putting this stuff out here. Look, everybody don't got to know everything. Everybody ain't got to be included in everything. And this is my one thing. Hey, dog, it's a reason we don't explain everything that you might not understand on this show. Because you know what? Some things you just don't need to know if you don't know. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. And yeah, man, making that a TikTok sound is nuts.
Yeah, making that a TikTok sound is ridiculous. What is
shit! Remember when Jabril Peppers went off on people for trying to do that in the stands? Mm-hmm. He was like, "This is not a Browns thing. I'm not barking for the Browns."
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. That's one of them ones where it's like, "Hey, man, you just on the wrong team." And you
you can bark. But you can't throw up the hooks.
You can't do the other thing. I was like, bark is one of them things where, hey, man, you just going to have to accept that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But the other stuff, nah.
So you telling me Jaylen Brown go to the Browns game and be like, oh, I didn't know the Q's. It's a much more diverse chapter. I am never letting that go for Jaylen.
I'm about to say you gotta let that Jaylen Brown thing go, bro. You gotta let
no, that is the funniest shit ever, man. I would never let that go for Jaylen Brown. He kept that shit up so long.
Every time something happens, you bring this back up. It's hilarious, dog.
Hey, no, because Jaylen Brown at that point in time was doing some hilarious stuff. Remember, he was also signed to the sports agency ran by their president, Antonio Brown, who had just recently got caught having his out in Dubai. Remember that one? Hey, man. I know we gotta take Jaylen Brown seriously now because he's good. He's legitimately good at basketball now. But
Finals MVP,
huh?
Jaylen Brown. Finals
Absolutely.
MVP, Jaylen Brown.
Hey, absolute baller. Just the vision is questionable. Ray Rag says Titus O'Neil had a taunt. He touched Vince trying to let Stephanie go in front of him and made him mad, slipped into the ring. Oh, my God. Y'all remember when he fell during the Saudi Arabian Royal Rumble? You ever see that clip, Cole?
No.
Okay. All right, Cole. Before we go, this is what we're going to end on, Cole. Go on YouTube right now on your phone.
YouTube on my phone. All right. Let's see what
Search
we got going on.
Titus, Titus, O'Neil, like Shaquille. I think it's the first clip that pops up. You've seen the memes, but this is more alternative angles of the trip heard around the world. You see that video?
No, that's all. The WWE put this.
Yes. Yes, you're gonna see why. Look at this shit.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Hold on. I'm watching.
I put this shit in slow motion.
Hold on. Okay, he's coming out.
Oh,
Okay.
The trip. Oh!
they got every angle of this. He had to go in there and get the momentum going in the ring too. That's the craziest part. He had to go in there and suplex somebody after that.
Oh man. They got alternative.
Yes, bro.
Oh Lord.
Oh man.
How do you not start crying laughing after you see that? Oh.
Hey, bro. I'm glad he seems to have a good sense of humor about this.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my God. Yeah, look, Cole, watch this when you get off. The one where Vince McMahon tears his quad at the Royal Rumble.
No, I have seen that one. I've seen that one. In times.
That shit cracks me up. He was that close to a legit injury. Oh yeah, there was a support post that he almost smacked his head into. Like when he slid to the right. Look, man, Titus, dog. I feel so bad for Titus. Tough career. Former University of Florida football player, by the way, in the 90s. He played against Peyton Manning. If you're wondering how this was connected to football, that's how we did it. But that's going to be it for QnCOLB, man, for all of the staff, for me, Colb, everybody involved. It's been a nice, tight 2 hours. See, look, man, give Curtis a round of applause, man. Curtis, no, stop clapping for yourself, Curtis.
I'm clap for myself. I'm gonna clap for myself.
Why are you clapping for yourself?
Because I want to. Let me
You're
be.
ruining the applause. You're ruining your applause. You know, now it's 3. It's supposed to be 2. You're supposed to just like, take the applause in. Yeah, let's do it again. Let's give a round of applause to Curtis.
You making us do this again? Why you making us do this again, man?
There you go. There you go. Feel grateful. Feel grateful. But
if we gotta get a new producer in 2 months, y'all know why.
we treat Curtis well.
We?
Yes, we do. Look, I had Curtis's back earlier.
I treat Curtis fine. I don't know about we though.
Curtis, you feel like I treat you poorly?
Yeah. No comment.
No comment.
No
wow.
comment. No.
Wow. Gonna throw me under the bus publicly. That's insane. Wow.
New grass just formed.
Mm-hmm. But let's give Curtis another round of applause, y'all.
No, I'm not clapping again. I'm not clapping for this dude again. I'm not clapping for this dude, man. I'm not clapping for this dude again.
Oh
Man. But seriously though, Curtis does a great job helping us stay on track, putting the show together during the week. Appreciate all of the work that it's done behind the scenes and everybody who promotes the show and hits the like button during the stream. Did you hit the like button? If you're one of the people here listening to the outro, what the fuck you waiting on? Hit the like button. You clearly like the show. Like the button. Hit the like button. Let's get to 100 likes on this one or above. Appreciate y'all. We got clips coming out. Let's explain that whole thing. So when you see clips during the week, those are new episodes of QnCOLB, fresh new content during the week. So we got the live stream on Tuesdays, and we have the clips that come out Thursdays and for the rest of the week. So make sure you're locked in. Tell a friend, hit that subscribe button, and ding that notification bell so we can continue to do our thing here. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate the viewers. Appreciate everybody who works on the show. I guess I appreciate Colb too. Appreciate your time.
Yes. You
guess.
Hey, no, but real quick, you know what we really appreciate? We appreciate all the casual fans who came out and watched us today. We appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all subscriptions and y'all support. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Real talk, we would be nowhere, because we're not hardcore. We don't talk about coverages and different alignments and other things that people would consider hardcore. We just come out here talking about that the Browns have enough spirit. Did we get out coached? That's all we do on this show. It's just, real casual talking points that we love to do here. Apparently I'm a casual. Casual. It's crazy. I was an expert a month ago. What you know? Like, nah, I'm a casual.
My fault, dog. Apparently, it's my fault.
They on your ass about this, man. I don't know what you did. Like,
Oh, if they watch this, they gonna be on your ass too.
what they gonna do? Tweet at me? I ain't gonna see it. Like, like, ooh, I'm so frustrated with Quincy not being pro Deshaun Watson. Well, first of all, that's where you fucked up. Why would I be pro or con the fucking quarterback? Like, why would I just not evaluate him? But anyways, y'all said all y'all complaints to Cole. I don't really tweet, so the only way your tweets get to me is if you send them to Cole. So make sure at underscore, it's 3 underscores. It's a little tricky. Underscore COLB underscore. Again, it's at underscore COLB underscore. That's the best way to get through to me. So if you have complaints to me, reach out to him. Or Curtis. He sells his name with like 3 S's on Twitter. So make sure you hit up Curtis on Twitter as well. They will relay those messages to me. But y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.